inside for Albert. Albert will get the score. Fiddler, his farewell. He tapped into a legend and probably rugby league immortality. That's not a try, that's a miracle.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Take the Two podcast brought to you by Neds. You can jump onto the Rugby League Guru profile on the Neds app, follow along with all the bets that are on there this week, including my multi of the week. We'll go through that at the end of the show. Sowie, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. How
What have
are
you been
you?
up to?
No, not much. Getting ready to move. It's always good fun. You can
What did
see
you get up
my
to
face.
last Thursday night? Find some
last-
gold by any chance?
I did find some gold.
Yeah, right.
A little cheeky gold before the Hello Sport podcast
Very
or
good.
stream.
Now,
We had good fun, didn't we?
We had a great time. We had a really good time. Now, we sat down on a pokey and we hit a feature and we got sweet FA from it. And if I don't get anything good from the first feature, I'm a big migrator like the birds. I'll go north to find somewhere else. Just about grabs me by the collar and goes, when you find a weakness down the short side, you go at it again. And I thought, fuck yeah, I'm in. I'm going down the short side. Anyway, we hit another feature within about 2 or 3 minutes and it was reasonably profitable.
It was responsible, of course.
Always.
Good fun.
Good
Just
fun.
nice to have a beer and not, I mean, we talked footy, but not into a mic. It was a bit deep.
It was, yeah. I didn't mind the Larry Bird approach too.
The
Introduced
race
me
3,
to-
number 3, the Larry Joe Bird special.
Yeah, I hate betting on the number 3, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was good. It was just a good, quick 50, chill out, get ready for the beers and with the boys.
Newmarket too. Chef's
Oh.
kiss, doesn't miss.
Beautiful.
Does not miss.
Beautiful.
Now, our friends at Wanderers Australia and the Levels Network have a fantastic opportunity for our viewers to join the Kangaroo Tour. Supporters group heading over with a guaranteed Category A ticket to all 3 tests, including the 2 sold-out second and third tests, as well as flights with Qantas, hotel accommodation with breakfast included, daily transfers, sightseeing highlights, and pre-test shows with ex-NRL stars. For more info, head to www.ashesrl.com.au. The boys over there, they've sorted me out with some tickets to all 3 games, including the last 2 sold-out ones. I'll be jumping over there with the Levels boys, Scope, Mace, Lukey. They'll be doing a few shows, everything. I'll be popping into those. But really excited to get over there. And if you are keen to have a look at the Ashes, first time back in, I think, 20 years or something incredible like that. It's going to be amazing over there. Go to www.ashesrl.com.au. You would have seen it on the screen. There is a link down in the description. Once in a lifetime opportunity stuff, guys. Not too far away. Go and get stuck into it. Now, some somber news. If you listen to Beers and Break Energy, you ought to be aware. But one of my favourite listeners and a good mate as well that I've sort of met throughout the podcast and everything, especially through like Supercoach Draft, that sort of chat. But I know he's a big fan of this show. Tate unfortunately passed away last week. He also sold a lot of like old footy jerseys and stuff like that. And some of the cracking things I've got out there. Got a David Gillespie tracksuit from 40 years ago. Got a lot of Ashes kit. Some really, really cool stuff that Tate's hooked me up with. And unfortunately, he did pass away last week, leaves behind a young child and his wife. So we have got a GoFundMe, guys. It is down in the description below. Give what you can there. A man that was a very important part of, our rugby league community and whatnot for me. Always a good fella. Last time I caught up with him was at the Beer, Footy and Food Festival. I spoke to Timmy about it last night. One of those blokes, Sowie, that those 3 things, beer, food, footy. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, very sad news. We spoke about it last week before we went onto the stream, and the rugby league community pulls together like no other.
100%.
And so hopefully everyone can donate, but very sad news.
Yeah. So I think it was at about $30,000 a few days ago. So I think that'll continue to rise. So that is down there in the description. Thoughts and prayers to Tate's family at this time. All right, mate. Normally we have our subjects that we go through and whatnot. We're going to just have a look today at what we actually think the top 8 will look like at the end of the season. We're going to go through our top 8, both of us, and then we're going to have a look at dividing it in 2 groups, contenders and pretenders. Now, we've got a rule here. No fence sitting, no splinters. They are either contenders or they are pretenders. History would tell me I don't think you should probably have more than 3 or 4 contenders, but we'll get to that soon. Don't tell me it's too. How crowded is your contenders going to be?
I think it's more than 2 or 3.
Okay, this will be a good conversation. Then I'm looking forward to it. Let's go through our top 8 to start. The top four, as it stands right now, you've obviously got the Canberra Raiders, you've got the Melbourne Storm, the New Zealand Warriors, and the Canterbury Bulldogs. Do you see that changing at all?
No. I think they'll jockey for positioning in terms of not having the for and against right in front of me, but I think the Raiders is a minor premiership to lose, which they could potentially win out as well. So they might be on an 8-game win streak at the moment?
Yeah.
So they might be on a 14-15 run by the time the finals come around, which I don't think it means anything. I think it's just great. Like the Sharks went on one in 2016. I think they had 16 in a row.
Yeah.
They just look like they want to play footy. I know that they were slow on the weekend, but when you're young, man, like this is your chance. The only history will tell you that you need to go through a finals campaign to learn about it, and then potentially next year. But why not this year for the Raiders? They've got all the pieces.
I think that's more and more with the Raiders. The question is why not?
Why not?
They're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
Doing everything they need to do. I think the Raiders, they're obviously sitting in first place. They're on 34 competition points. They're the only team in the top four with a bye still to come. So they are, I think they are just about home and hose with a home final, I think.
Yes.
The NRL announced this week as well, they are allowed to host a prelim final. So if they're two Canberra
where else
wins
would they
away-
host it?
Well, there was a bit of conjecture about, would it have to be in Sydney or whatever, but it's 100, as it should be, but it was officially announced. That means that they are two Canberra wins away from a grand final.
And will
is
that
huge.
be, usually that's, they get the choice whether it's a Friday or Saturday, don't they?
I believe so, yeah. Or do they just get the longer turnaround?
They get
from
the
their
longer
first game?
turnaround, I think. So, beg your
Yeah.
pardon, they would play the Saturday night before the grand final.
Yeah. So it's only going to get colder down there in the nation's capital. Big advantage there for them. We've got that four remains the same. I think it's the bottom four where the conversation becomes a little bit more interesting. We've got a couple of teams on big runs at the moment. The Broncos, the Panthers in 5th and 6th. Have we both got them making finals?
Yes.
Yep. So do I. Manly Seagulls in 7th. Have you got them making finals?
Yes.
I don't. I think this is where we're going to differ. I don't think Manly are going to be there. They've gone on a good run the last few weeks. They beat Melbourne on the weekend. I do not think they are a finals football side personally. But the big concern with Manly is, big concern, they're on 24 competition points, the same as the Sharkies. They have got better for and against, to be fair. The Dolphins, they're on 22 competition points, but the Sharks and the Dolphins both have a bye to come. So once you add in buys, they're actually in 8th place as it stands right now. I don't know. I had a quick squiz at their draw the other night. What do you take from their run home?
I think this weekend, I wrote them off when they lost in Perth to the Sharks. I think both those sides, I think the 8 stays the exact way it is right now, to be fair. Looking at their draw, this week's a huge game. Like, you get on the plane, winning in Melbourne after the pressure that you've been under throughout the year to come back and play the Dogs at Allianz. So it's not at a core where there's going to be 60. It's going to be at Allianz. So it's a very neutral ground. Big day for the Bulldogs, 95 reunion. Then you play the Roosters at home, Raiders away. We don't know what the Raiders, what position they'll be in terms of, they've just won Melbourne in Melbourne, so you can't count that out. They play the Tigers away. They play the Dolphins at home. So the teams that are around them, they've got them at Brookie.
Yep.
7 o'clock, 7:30 on a Saturday afternoon. You got the Dragons to finish and then the Warriors. Now, if the Warriors are in the top four, I dare say they will be resting people and not bringing everyone over on that trip. So
That's fair.
I think I've got Manly actually making it now after that win on the weekend. I think if they lost, that would have cruelled them. But if you look at the Dolphins run and the Roosters run home, they all play each other, which makes for fantastic footy for the next couple of months. But I want to believe in them. I just think that they've got a perfect mix here of, they don't have to travel too far, really.
I think if they can knock over Canterbury this week, I think that's a huge needle mover for this side. An enormous needle mover.
Well,
as
it
far as
depends
they
what the
go.
Roosters do tomorrow night or tonight against the...
and that's the other thing, they play the Roosters, they play the Dolphins, those, especially the Roosters, they're just so up and down at the moment. I think the Roosters are going to find a bit of form over the next few weeks, now that Sam Walker's back. I've got Manly just missing. I just eyeball them, mate. I just don't think they're a top 8 footy side, personally, compared to these other teams.
Even after the way they played on the weekend?
Oh, mate, it's one game. I've
I
been
know,
doing
but
this
we've
for
seen
years
other...
with Manly. They're so good. Everyone loses their minds over them, and they disappoint you whenever you need them.
I'll say this. Manly and the Cronulla Sharks. We both had them in our top 8 to start the year, right?
Yep.
We've both seen glimpses. They played pissed off on the weekend, both of them.
Yes.
There was a little bit of line in the sand stuff.
Yep.
I saw Jake Trbojevic looked 5 years prime.
Yep.
Yeah, prime Jake Trbojevic, up in everything. Nico Hines, Sharks, there was a little bit of arrogance about it. So I reckon there's something that's like they need to win this weekend. I get that. But both those sides that has so much talent, I think they could go on a run, both of them.
The Sharkies, I'm buying into that because I feel like I've seen that little turn in attitude in the last 3 weeks over the Sharkies. Man, it was a great win on the weekend, but it's only the one game I've seen from them as far as turning that corner. So, as I said, if they do it against Canterbury this weekend, I'll probably fall on my sword, but I think the Doggies get them this weekend. I think the Roosters will get them the weekend after. But that's our big difference. What's who's 8th place for you then, or your last side?
My last side, beg your pardon, I wrote it down. I've got, so my Broncos 5th, Panthers 6th, Manly 7th, Sharks 8th.
Sharks 8th. Yeah, okay.
Which Broncos, Sharks, Panthers, Manly first week.
So I've got my final spot is Dolphins, Roosters. I actually think the Roosters will get it. I think they'll just sneak in there.
They've got a hard run home too.
They
I think
do.
the thing with the Roosters, I was thinking about on the way in, we haven't, like every time we picked them and thought this, like last week, we both said emphatically Roosters.
Yep.
Because we think we know what we're going to get. Then they played total non-Roosters, I think 16 errors.
Yep.
And they've done that throughout the year this year. So that sort of scars me a little bit. Yep. Were they good against the Dragons? I wouldn't say they were great. But this has to be the week for them. They need to beat the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah. And I think they're going to be given a very good opportunity without Pappy, without Munster, and without Nass as well. We saw in the grand final last year how much that impacts them as well. So, okay, so we've essentially narrowed it down to 9 teams.
Yes.
Right? Are we both putting the red line through the Dolphins?
I just looked at their draw. I mean, I can't glaze him anymore, Katoa, and their for and against will help them. But when you look at their draw, and you said a couple of weeks ago, like it has to catch up with them eventually.
Yep.
So they play the Warriors away over there, Wildland. Yep. Then they come back and play the Roosters. So that's pretty much season defining for either of those sides there. Then if they're able to stay up for that one, they've got the Broncos in the Derby, which is a big one. Then they've got to come to Sydney. Then they've got 2 winnable games because I think the Raiders will rest some players in that last game. So they could either go 4-2 and potentially make it, but they're going to have to win 4 games out of that period, which it could happen quickly where if they lost to the Warriors and then the Roosters are up for them, their season's done, right?
Yep.
So they can't wait towards the Titans, Raiders, like back end. They need to bank those wins as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I think they might struggle to do that.
Yeah, they're an interesting side to watch. Yeah, so okay, we've got those 9 teams, right? Let's put them all in 2 tubs.
Well, there's 10.
10 teams. If we're narrowing the top 8 down to those 10 teams, there's no one else you can see getting in there.
Dragons 6 points out at the moment.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, so of those 10 teams, we're going to put them in contenders and pretenders as far as we are concerned. So let's start at the top. The Canberra Raiders had a fantastic season. Contender or pretender for you?
Contender for me.
Yeah,
the fact they're going to have 2 home finals. A little bit concerned about how they played on the weekend, and I don't think their draw home is, I wouldn't say taxing, but in terms of, they play Knights, Dragons, Manly, Panthers, Tigers, Dolphins. Not as hard as some of the other teams we just spoke about. So I'll be interested to see what Ricky does with some of his players, whether they rest that last round. Because we in 09 we didn't rest, and then in 2010 we did rest that last round, and it was a freshen up. So essentially we were playing 1 game in 3 weeks because we win that first.
Which the Raiders could quite easily find themselves in the same spot.
And that would recharge Tarpanay, those guys. So 3 games at home, 3 on the road. I just think that for them, they need to be thinking, why not? Love that from you at the start. Why not us this year? Why are we too young? We play an exciting brand of football. We compete. We scrap for absolutely everything. We've got a good kicking game. We've got a good goal kicker. We've got a forward pack that terrifies the shit out of other teams. We scrap for everything. We've got ball runners. We've got exciting backs. Like, where's their weakness? Where is their weakness? Is it going to be that they're up for too long? Is it going to be they tighten up a little bit in front of a big home crowd?
Let me ask you this. You mentioned there they could rest in the last round, which means they might only play one game in 3 weeks. They got a bye in round 24. Does that play into your mindset at all that then all of a sudden it could be 3 games in 6 weeks?
Nah, because I think that they'll challenge them. They'll want to put the Panthers to the sword. Ricky Stewart should use that as a grand final. Like, essentially, you could have a mini finals prep where you play Manly to get into the prelim final, which is going to be against the 4-time champions. So he'll bounce them off that, and then he might rest some maybe for the Tigers and then play them against the Dolphins. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be. It's always hard to say rest. Like when Wayne said to us in 2010, rest, you were like, no, I want to play. And then you're like, oh, thank God he rested me.
Just to be clear, Wayne came to you guys.
He just said, I'm going to rest. I think we rest 5 guys maybe.
Right. Like the Origin boys? Or?
Nah, well, I wasn't Origin that year, 2010.
Of course you weren't.
Yeah. So, I think I can't even remember who rested, but Benny Cray scored 3 tries in 10 minutes or something. So, the thing about rest, the advantage of finishing top 4 is you have the rest, right? But to rest the last round, you've earned the right to do that. I remember when Penrith sent the young boys up to North Queensland a couple of years ago, and that was the unveiling of Isaiah Cartola in reserve grade. Yeah, it just freshens you up so much. Like physically, you're not as you were in the preseason, but mentally, okay, I'm just going to take 2 days off here. I'll keep the body moving. We'll still focus on what we need to focus on, but the end goal is coming. So I think the Raiders are in a great position to do that. They are a contender.
Yep, I agree with you. They are top contenders for me. Let's move to, in second place as it stands right now, the Canterbury Bulldogs. They're going through a bit at the moment. I said on Bloke this week, I tend to sip on the Serraldo Kool-Aid that I think they will work it out. But if I'm being down the line, they're a team that I've sort of got sitting in between pretender and contender right now. And if I'm going to be ruthless, I probably don't have them right now on the same level as the Raiders, the Melbourne Storm, these sides. So I would actually put them into pretender if you had gun to my head and forced me to go one of them. Where do you have them? Contender.
I on the weekend take the calls. The big thing for them is, yes, they've got to work out the Galvin-Burton combo.
Which isn't a little thing.
No, that's not. It's not. But they play Manly, Tigers, Warriors, Roosters. Then they come in. So they're going to know in the next month, because then they finish with Storm, Panthers, Sharks. They're going to be battle-hardened. Their defence is still one of the best in the competition. I'm a still big believer that you can still go a long way in this competition, potentially win the competition based off your defence. Now, the play that he made on the weekend, I don't think the other 7 makes that.
He doesn't make that,
yeah, right. What I am concerned about, and I have been all year and I've been harping on it, is I don't think they know how to play at the back to Connor Tracy. And I don't think they have their kicking game worked out about who's going to take over in that 30-metre zone, the red zone, which they haven't had all year. So it's no surprise, because I said it months ago. I said that they Sexton, who's in charge, right? If they can tidy those things up, people forget quickly the Panthers game.
It's fair. Yep.
People forget that was a cracker. I think that actually took a lot out of them. Then they had to go to North Queensland. They come back, play a Dragon side that's desperate to make the 8. I was at the game. It was tense, all that kind of stuff. I reckon there's a good chance that they're contenders for me. The body of work's too large.
Yep, fair. I just, there's a lot of things you have to work out there. I compare them to the Raiders. I know what I'm going to get. I know what I'm expecting. I struggle to put them on the same tier, but I want you to keep that in mind, because when I get all of your contenders, I want to know where they're ranked on that list then, yeah? All right, let's move to the next side, which I believe is the Melbourne Storm. Currently sitting in third place, 30 competition points they're on. Contenders or pretenders?
Contenders. A little worried, though.
Yep, a little bit nervous.
A little bit puckering.
Yep.
Roosters, Eels, Broncos, Panthers, Dogs, Roosters, Broncos. I don't know who did the draw, but that's a schmozzle. The fact that you've got those Broncos playing them twice in the last month, essentially. After the weekend, I didn't watch the game, but we spoke about it. Are we just not concerned that they've made the same mistakes this year a lot? The Raiders was like, oh my God, is this happening? The Melbourne Storm are going to lose the game on discipline. Mm-hmm. We get to Melbourne Storm Old Boys Day, they've lost another game on discipline.
Yep.
I'm concerned about that.
One of my favourite Cam Smith quotes that I think is the more, he said it about 3 years ago and it's just become more and more true for me is who you are in the regular season will always be reflected come finals time. And that's my biggest concern with Melbourne.
Yeah.
That they don't seem to me to be as clinical and as ruthless as they have been in previous seasons.
And are we sure the Pappy injury is not a bit more serious than what we think?
Well, put it this way. They're playing on Thursday night this week against the Roosters, who are, another team competing for the 8. Cameron Munster's out. Nass has just been ruled out, and Pappy doesn't even get a bait on the extended bench. Like, they're not saying anything about it. The optics to me aren't good there with Pappy. I'm not loving that. I still think, mate, their edge defence on both sides, especially that right edge for me, I'm far from convinced on it. Pappy's going to return somewhere in the next month, I would hope and assume. Meany's going to go back there. They're just changing all their edge defence. They're going to be without Nass for a few weeks now. Yeah, I've got a lot of concerns about Melbourne, but I just think the pedigree of big game experience they've got, I know that they've got another level they can go to in September. So I put them into the contenders category. But at the moment, mate, I feel much more confident knowing what I'm going to get out of the Raiders in September than the Melbourne Storm.
What has Neds got them at to win the comp?
I'll get that up for you.
So every point you make there is correct. They've only got 3 home games left. They've got 5 away games. Mm-hmm. They're jockeying for position because if they finish 3rd, they could be on the road and then having to play Penrith if that works out week 2. So they could go bang, bang, essentially. Like if you're in that side of the draw with Penrith, potentially Broncos, it's wide open. So it's just really, really we're huge Melbourne Storm fans. I'm not just saying that because of what I'm going to say next, but it's just really weird to see them so ill-disciplined with the ball and without it.
All right, so this is to my point here. Do you agree with my statement that I know what I'm going to get out of the Raiders come September, Melbourne? So I don't know yet.
So I don't know. I don't look at the footy markets. Yep. And people know that. Without looking at it, I would say if Melbourne are less than $3, I don't think there's that much gap.
Yep. They're $2.75. The Raiders are at $5. That doesn't check out to me.
No.
The only thing I can put that down to is just big game experience, which I understand it matters, but...
Yeah, but if this year has shown anything, everything that we've valued in the past, this year's been turned on its head.
Yep. Very fair.
In terms of stock standard, what we're going to get from teams. Like, look at the Broncos. They've had a good month. They're back in it. So, yes, Melbourne contenders for me.
I think the Raiders at $5 there is great value, by the way. All right, let's move to the New Zealand Warriors. I am, once again, going to be ruthless. I think without Barnett, I think Tanner Boyd coming in is going to do a good job. I think that they lack a little bit of upside without Luke Metcalf in there. They've obviously got these young forwards, but a lot of them don't have that big game experience. I'm going to put them at the very top of my pretenders category. I don't think they can win a comp this year, personally. What do you think?
Oh, love the Wales fans. I'm going.
You ask me who do you want to win it? The Warriors are at the top.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty sensational, okay. But I just think they're going to be a step below.
The weekend worried me. Mm-hmm. The weekend worried me.
Yep.
I do want to say this. Tanner Boyd, the amount of courage to keep going after it for a game winner. I could sit here and do the whole podcast about field goal setup. I won't because I won't bore everyone. But I just thought what he would have been going through and then to get away with that, and I reckon Webster would have walked up to him and said, "Kid, we've got to keep swinging there. I'm so proud of you." Yep. Because he had moments. He had 3 moments to win the game. Didn't. Halasima comes up with the play of the year. That's the try of the year. I don't want to see another one.
Without a doubt, yeah. And it might get him rookie of the year.
And it showed other things in my assumption of the Warriors that their short kicking game I think is going to be a little bit better with Tanner Boyd.
Yep.
I thought he had some great touches on the weekend, picked his lane, really patient with his repeat sets. But I was worried about how fatigued they're going to be the back end of the year. They have a pretty good run home. Titans, Dolphins, Dogs away, Dragons, Titans, Eels, Manly.
I think it's the best run home of all the teams.
Agree.
I think it's great. Yep.
But what we saw Panthers Warriors a month ago, that's what I feel might be. Just they've turned a corner, right? Yeah. But when you lose Barnett, who I reckon's in the top 7 forwards in the game, it takes its toll.
Has to take a toll.
So, JFH, don't bash me, please. I've got them in the pretenders list.
Yep. They're very top of pretenders, and they're building to something. You know, I think you got to remember with the Warriors guys, like the guys. Well, we've said it 1,000 times, but in the off season, you lose SJ, Tohu, Dylan Walker leaves. Like so much change that has gone on there at that club. For them to even think they are at the top, like in the close to the contenders category, is insane.
I know Ricky Stewart will be coach of the year, but geez, Webster's been
great. Talk about the Dolphins soon, but if they're in the top 8, Wolf has to be in the conversation too for me.
Yeah, the thing about coach of the year is it doesn't reward consistency either. You know, we finished first in 2009, 2010. I think Wayne Bennett, like back-to-back firsts, and didn't get a look in. Brian Smith got coach of the year.
Yeah.
It doesn't reward anything. It's
sort of
flavour of the month.
And changes each year depending on
what's the criteria?
Kind of thing.
Just, it should be just who finishes first, shouldn't it? They're most consistent.
Yeah.
Broncos.
Okay. Vegas. I don't believe their defense is good enough to be able to win a competition this year. I think that even the last few weeks where they've looked good, still been having plenty of holes punched through them and whatnot. I'm keen to see that they play Melbourne twice on the run home. That'll give us a better indication. But as it stands right now, mate, they've been up and down all year. I can't put them in the same echelon as the Canberra Raiders, for example. No way. So they're pretenders for me as it stands.
Contenders for me. I picked them at the start of the year. There would be an element of just got to get there. I reckon that was at the start of the year.
Yep.
You know, we've got a good enough side. We just got to get there. Something changed in Michael Maguire's approach and Reece Walsh at the back. Wherever he's fit, I think that they're a side that could score 30 points. Whether they let 31 in or not is going to be the challenge.
Yep.
Maybe the bye. They've got a pretty good run home. Eels, Rabbitohs, Storm twice. You said Dolphins, Knights, Cowboys. Like a couple of derbies there that they won't need any extra motivation. So I just like the fact that their Ben Hunt, their spine could get them into spots and get them some points that they probably did miss throughout the year, and it looks settled. And if we spoke about the Bulldogs, for me being contenders, I think they're along that line where they're still working it out, but they've probably got a little bit more upside than the Bulldogs. So if I've got the Bulldogs in, I've got the Broncos in.
Yep, fair shout. All right, the Penny Panthers, they're in 6th place as it stands right now. I said from midway through last season that I didn't think they'd win the comp this year. I still don't think they will, but, mate, I'm sort of at the point where I can see the calendar flipping over. It's starting to look like September. This team's starting to get a run. I think that even being in the bottom 4, I think that that'll light a new fire on this the arse of this side come September. You know, they're trying to make history 5 in a row. The extra history of no one's done it from outside the top 4 in 30 years. I think I have to put them in the bottom of my contenders category.
Agree.
I really do.
Agree. Couple of tricky games coming up. Tigers this week, Titans away, Knights away. We know they're different teams at home, those two teams. Then they have a block of Storm, Raiders, Dogs, Dragons to finish. We're going to know after that Dogs game whether they're in or not in terms of how much the market dictates that. I've got them at contenders though. Yeah, that Warriors, like if you're filming a documentary, that Warriors win 28-18 without your Origin players after they just lost game 2 over in Perth. That's the one where the mountain or the race started. So I've got them contenders, mate.
Yeah, I think I've got to put them in that slot. And you know what? You know, we say it every year and whatnot, but fuck, Nath again, not getting the job done in Origin. I think it just lights a fire under his ass again.
Yeah, I'm not going to start on that.
No, I'm not. But mate, but as I always say, he's a competitor. You know it. Fucking
well, he came on
shits
off the bench.
Yeah,
and was
crowd booed him. He
magical.
giggled and laughed at them, then came and absolutely.
Why is he getting
fisted
booed?
them. Fuck Origin.
Okay, good.
It's fucked.
But in New South Wales at Combank. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not disagreeing with you, but
that's why New South Wales. That's why Queensland always say like Queensland get Origin better because New South Wales we're so tribal to our teams that we don't really support players, whereas Queensland is just all support players.
Look, maybe it was just Parramatta Eels fans. It's Penrith at Battle of the West.
Boo! You've won 4 in a row.
I'm going to hope that's what it is, mate. I'm hopeful that's what it is.
So am I, because if they're booing him about Origin, beat it.
All right. Manly Seagulls are in 7th right now. I don't have them making the top 8, so I'm definitely not putting them in contender category. I don't think they've been a contender for probably over a decade, in my opinion. Definitely at the bottom of my pretender category. They might make the 8. I might be wrong on that. But they won't be winning the comp this year.
Yeah, pretenders for me. The inconsistency, I think, catches up with you. That Cameron Smith quote. Tough month here. Bulldogs this week. Roosters, Raiders. Then they go Tigers, Dolphins, Dragons, Warriors. So you just don't want to be having to win 3 out of your last 4.
Yep.
But if they got into a big game, I mean, they showed last year against the Dogs that they could win a week 1 matchup, which I think they potentially could. Not going to win it if you have to go to Brisbane or out to Combank. I think that's might be a hill too far.
Yep, very fair. Next team is the Sharkies, and kills me to say this because fuck, I'd love to put them into the contenders category, mate, but I just can't. When you look at how they've been up and down this season, and when you just look at what they've done over the last few seasons, I just can't put them in there, unfortunately. So they're in the pretenders category for me.
They should not lose a game, or they'll start favourites, I beg your pardon, in every game except the last one against the Dogs. Rabbits, Cowboys, Dragons, Titans, Knights, and then the Dogs. So that may shoot them up the ladder potentially to a home first final, which I think could get them into that conversation. They played so well off Blake Brayley last week that if I don't see that this week and next week and the week after, I've got them out.
My concern is, and I love what Blake Brayley's doing at the moment, wrapped him galore the last few weeks. My concern is that come finals time, it's going to get a little bit tighter. There'll be less penalties, less 6 agains, and I worry that the little change they've made with Blake Brayley learning to run more, I'm just not sure if they'll be able to get that much momentum for him come finals time.
Yeah, and that's but if anything, I said to you the other night, we did see a change in aggression. Like, they look pissed off.
They do. Yeah.
They need to harness that. Yep. And I think that they could. Just seems like if they shot up the ladders, they could be contenders. They could come from the clouds here because they could get a really good ladder position. I'm going to go out on a limb and put them as contenders.
You're putting the Sharkies in contenders.
I think so.
You're too kind, my friend. You're handing out candy around the place.
Well, they'll win 4 out of the next 5 out of the next 6 potentially. I think that might – the fact that they could get a home final and they might get someone coming off a Canberra trip or a Melbourne trip back to a core or a neutral stadium, Allianz, I think that they could potentially get into a prelim.
So it's been 30 years since the team's won it from outside the top 4. You're giving me 6 proper contenders that can win this competition. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know about it.
Well, if we sit here in 3 months' time and the Broncos have won the comp, I'm not going to be surprised.
Broncos, I
Penrith,
can get around
surprised.
that. Cronulla, I don't know if I can get around that as contenders for me. It's interesting when you have a look at the odds on Neds. Melbourne Storm, $2.75, Raiders, $5, Bulldogs, $5.50, Panthers, $7, Broncos, $7. Enormous drop off then to Manly and Cronulla at $21. So those 5 sort of teams we spoke about it as either you had them as contenders or I had them sort of on the fringe. There's obviously a huge gap there. So it's the New Zealand Warriors are at $26
to win. This would be a great story.
Be a cracking story. That'll be unreal. Okay, let's move to the next team on the ladder as it stands right now. Got the Dolphins. I just think they've lost too much, mate. I love Izzy. He's done fantastic things this year. But even, he hasn't played finals footy, hasn't played big games like this. I just think finals will just be too much. I think they've lost too many forwards to really compete against, once again, a Raiders pack, even a Warriors pack, those sort of sides. So I can't put the Dolphins in there as contenders. They're definite pretenders for me.
2 points out. They've got a bye left. They've got a really tough run home. They play a couple of teams that are in and around them, so I can sort of get around that a little bit. But you're right. Like when we watched the stream the other night, I think they scored 43. They still let 23 or 26 or something in. So,
and they've got players to come back, Cody Nicarima and whatnot. But you're right, the defense doesn't. It's not going to move the needle there.
Yeah.
So with Cody back in, I think they're a much better chance, obviously. But I just think they've just been crippled by too many injuries in their forwards. Like they're going in with bench front rowers playing 55 minutes
Yeah.
against these sides, so I can't do that. Roosters, interesting. Pretenders for me. I don't think they can win a comp this year, but they're one of those teams. Like I personally think, come finals time, I would rather play Manly, Cronulla, and the Dolphins over the Roosters. I think they've got a little bit more upside. I think they're a little bit scarier on their day, especially with Sam Walker, who's just playing off his cuff. Sometimes it's going to bite him in the ass, but they'd scare me a little bit more, the Roosters. What do you reckon?
They would. I just don't think they're going to get there. Only 3 home games left. They've got the Melbourne twice. They've got the Dogs. They've got Manly, and they've got the Dolphins at Suncorp. It's a tough draw, man. But you look at that.
Tigers loss was a big dagger for them.
It was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. And they've had a couple this year where, I mean, the Tigers won, the Raiders won. They lost 24-26. Dogs 24-20. They probably should have won that game. The other one, they lost to the Rabbitohs in round 5. So, yeah, so they've had a couple of chances this year where they've, I mean, even that Titans game in round 4, yeah, that was one of those games where you're like, what's going on here? So, good. I think that, dare I say it, could next year be Rabbitohs Roosters grand final?
Yeah, and I know everyone in the con, you'll all lose your minds and all shit, and that's fine. But, mate, that South Sydney squad, if they're just all fit, which fucking it looks like it's at millions at the moment, but if they're fit, that is one hell of a roster, and the Roosters are the same. The only thing is, where's DCE going to fit? How's that all going to work with Sam Walker? That's a concern for me.
Yeah.
But it's still a damn good squad they've got for next season.
Yeah.
Okay, so as it stands right now, I've got 3 proper contenders. I've got the Canberra Raiders, the Melbourne Storm, and I've got the Penrith Panthers. I think the premiership will be won by one of those 3 sides. I have got Canterbury that have got things to work out, and maybe they do work them out, and in 5 weeks' time I'm sitting there going, okay, they're in contenders. But for me, I can't put them in there right now. Warriors, I think with the injuries they've got, they won't be there. Brisbane, they're just a little bit too up and down for me. And the other sides, I don't even consider them as far as premierships. You've got Raiders, Bulldogs, Storm. Did you have the Tigers in there too, and South, did you?
I got the Gold Coast Seagulls.
Fucking crowded room, mate.
Yeah, Adelaide Rams. Adelaide Rams from the clouds.
I want you to put your contenders in order for me. Number 1 seed.
Raiders.
2 seed.
Storm.
Yep. 3.
Panthers.
Okay, so we're both in agreement on that. They're our top 3 sides.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, they're our top 3. Okay, 4 for you.
Dogs.
Yep. Brisbane?
Broncos. Sharks.
Yeah, okay. Who's your top pretender for you? Is it Wild?
Only because it's just, the injuries just have to catch up. Like if we're going to say they're going to catch up with the Dolphins, and on the weekend against the night side that didn't have a captain's run, and I get it's a tough trip, but what's the expectation? Like if they make a prelim, it just might be a bridge too far. So yeah,
Wires played the Sharks in finals. Who are you tipping?
Sharks.
Okay, sweet. I like that. Good chat.
Was a good chat.
How good's footy? How good's footy?
Should we talk about what happened the other night? Is that time of the podcast?
What happened the
when
other
I rang
night?
you the other night?
Oh yeah. So I'm.
I was going to say, can you tell the story the way you told
Before we
me?
get into tips and whatever else is on the show,
So I'm sitting at home the other night.
set the scene.
I'm lying in bed. I'm gummied up. I'm ready to fall asleep. Missus is sitting next to me playing a game or reading a book or something or other. I'm doing whatever. Phone rings.
What time was it?
9:20 p.m. to
Okay.
be exact. I thought, ooh, Sarah's ringing me 9:20 p.m. You're a big WhatsApp caller too, I've noticed too.
Yeah.
And you're a big texter. And
Well, our convo, it's easy for me to look back about the weird shit I've texted you.
you're not a big text guy. You're a WhatsApper though.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't
I've
know.
had to like start a relationship with WhatsApp for you, so I hope
Thank
you
you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Because I'm on board now.
Okay.
I'm in. Get the phone call.
Was there any like, should I answer this? Should I keep her?
Well, I was sort of at 9:20. I was like, oh fuck, I hope everything's okay. So anyway, I answered.
Thank you.
Hey mate, what's going on? They did it on purpose. I'm sitting there going, did I miss the first half of the fucking conversation? I go, what do you mean? He goes, I think they did it on purpose. And I had no idea what you were talking about at this point. And to be honest with you, I'm still a little bit lost with what you were saying as a whole. Tell me what you were talking about.
So, driving home after touch.
Because I thought there was someone like following your car or
Yeah,
they
so
fucking
I
put a mic on
I
you or
was
something.
thinking about the setup for the field goal, for the Luke Brooks field goal against Melbourne the other night.
Yeah.
And if you look at that last set, Cherry Evans takes a run, which is like a run where he surrenders essentially to the right-hand side of the field. And it instantly, the commentators, everyone's like, what's Cherry Evans doing? He's supposed to be the one that kicks a field goal. They were so far out, and rather than run it to the other side and have a play where you shift it and you maybe get the line speed up, they've almost surrendered it to that right-hand side so that Brooks can come in left foot and have a crack from outside in. It was the perfect setup. I thought it was done on purpose.
Yeah, right. So it wasn't accidental whatsoever that it wasn't. Because obviously DC is one of the best field goal kickers.
But I don't think he's got,
you don't think he's got the legs to him.
I don't think he's got the, from that distance, because off centre it would have been a 45-metre field goal. And I just think the way that they set it up to open Brooks' up left side, because you think if they're in the middle, right, Cherry Evans takes it to the right-hand side, here's Brooks, come in, snap. Everyone from Melbourne except for Harry Grant's going, oh, who's going to kick the field goal now? Harry Grant switched on. Yeah, that's another argument.
Yep.
So he kicks outside in. Rather than they had to play the ball here on the strum line, if they went pass, Melbourne can come up. Brooks actually, or Cherry Evans has to actually get behind the ball. It's an even longer field goal. So I don't know would ever ask Cherry Evans, but I think it was a deliberate setup to that right-hand side to try and throw Melbourne off and have Brooks have a crack.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
He struck it too, to be fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, does the kick pressure negate, is it worth a penalty? I don't want to see that decided at a grand final. But I think the referee who is on the field has to make a decision. I don't think you can send it to the bunker. I think he has to have feel for it and just say, mate, have a look at it. I feel like it's not impeding, and lead the bunker down there a little bit, because the people in the bunker have no idea about the feel of the game. And we're seeing that. Yeah.
I actually tend to agree with you, but it's just never going to be like that.
No, I know.
I know. So shit. And this is my big argument to get rid of Golden Point, because, mate, whenever there's a field goal now at any point in the game, except if it's like at halftime and no one's expecting it, there's always this shit happening around it.
Why did they take blockers out for field goals?
Good question. I think Penrith was sort of taking the piss out of it a little bit.
You can have a blocker and not move.
Once again, grey areas. We don't do them well.
Yeah, no, we don't. We're trying to make it black and white.
As soon as it's grey, we fucking lose our mind.
I think the King said it once. He said we're trying to make a game black and white that's never ever black and white.
The best thing about rugby league is it's all grey.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Ivan Cleary, one of his great sayings.
What does he say?
Well, you'd be out on an edge, like making a shit read from my point of view probably. Come outside in and I'd go, oh, what do you want me to do there? And he'd go, well, Sowie, it's a grey game, mate. It's not black or white. I can't tell you exactly what to do or when to do it, but it's a grey game.
A couple of things from the weekend I want to ask you, speaking about grey area. Billy Burns Toast, one of the great Instagram handles of all time. He scored a good try the other day. Cut back through. Try or no try?
No try.
No try, I agree. I thought if
Straight
you're
away.
on the ground and there's hand on you, you're tackled.
And why didn't we have like 4 looks at it?
Yep.
It just was like, bip, try, and then you slowed it down, you look at that reverse angle, you're like, that's a double movement.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you. Dane Gagai, his try that he scored. Greg Marshew breaks a few tackles. He's on the ground, there's bodies on him, and he passes straight off the ground. Try or no try?
No try.
No try. Yeah.
It's not.
Their argument was the ball never hit the ground. For me, if you're lying on the fucking floor and there's bodies on you, hot tip, you're tackled.
Yeah.
If it happened on the 10-metre line, they'd bring it back for a play the ball 100%.
I had to double check whether it was the Lions v Wallabies because it was passed off the ground.
I feel pass off the ground as just off with the fairies in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
it's
because you have
that
one decision a year where the person's getting dragged into touch along the thing and he slings it back in. Everyone goes, oh, play on. It's not. That was definitely no try. Even Dan Gagai, I thought it was no try.
Yeah, heck, it was his face as he was walking back. Once again, if that happens on the 10-metre line,
it's a penalty.
Call it back, boys, play the ball. Or they'd probably just give them the play the ball. I called held, come back and play the ball.
Yeah.
It's shit. I hate it. Have we seen a penalty recently for a pass off the ground? Do we?
No.
I feel like I haven't seen one in a while. Tallis Duncan got away with one a few weeks ago as well that I was like, oof, I don't love that.
Yeah, but that was blatantly off the ground, this one. Like the tackle had stopped. Everyone had stopped around it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Any other bones to pick from the weekend?
No.
All right, I've got a question for you from the Roo Crew. Now, I actually went through this question the other day with Matty the Waterboy. I really enjoyed it. Top 5 forwards in the game in 2025, so based on form in 2025. And then I want to know your top 5 forwards just in the game in general, your 5 best forwards. Let's start the 5 best of 2025. Who have you got on your list?
Payne Haas.
Yep.
Incredible work rate. Yeah. We've seen him win how many
just setting
medals?
a new standard.
Yeah, setting a new standard. Tino.
Okay.
I think what he did in Origin, his influence over the game, I look at it as a whole. I don't just look at like hit-ups and stats and like that, like how influential he is to the team and how much workload he gets through. Joe Tarpanay from the Raiders, I think, has turned into such a great. Like Newcastle must be kicking themselves with the amount of players. I know every club lets players go, but like Joe Tarpanay's turned into a career guy who's captain of the club who may win a premiership with Canberra.
I think essentially just because they didn't put their arm around him enough, from what I've gathered.
And what I've learnt being out of the game now is like that's never been more prevalent right now. It's the old school ways. Maybe Des has learnt that at the Titans, the old school ways. You have to adjust, and I probably learnt that out of the game this year. So I got Joe Tapane, Eli Katoa. His transformation on an edge, the way that he's competing both sides defensively, which is weird as to why Melbourne aren't like firing just at the moment.
Now that's 4 names. I've got 2 left that I think should be in the top 5. I'm keen to see which one you go for.
Well, come a little closer, kids, because about 2.5 months ago,
I think it was longer.
Maybe 3.5 months ago, I said something on this podcast, which I was ridiculed from you Supercoach nerds out there. And I said that this guy is one of the top forwards in the game and I like what he's doing for the New Zealand Warriors. And yes, I'm looking down the barrel. Aaron Clark, one of the best forwards in the competition this year, not only statistically, but what he's done for the side. Held the middle together, ball player, distributor, leader within that team. Amazing, because the Aaron Clark we knew at the Titans, part-time hooker, part-time ball player, the way that they were playing him, like this is what he had in him. That's the sign of a happy footballer. I hope you guys followed me out there because I did tip you into him when he was probably 150,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It was a pint of Coke when Sowie tipped him. Who's the name that you didn't mention that you think I'm going to throw at you?
Well, some tough ones. I mean, Hudson Young, Isaiah Yeo, Mitch Barnett, James Fisher-Harris, those guys.
Hudson Young was going to be my next one.
Yeah.
Is that a sensational season? My NFL fantasy comp just got activated for the season too. Which me a little.
Am I in that one?
Nah, I think you're too advanced for us when it comes to NFL. I don't think you'd enjoy it.
All right.
I'll be leading Gotham City again this year, though.
Get me in there.
Nah, I think you.
He's very protective of his like little cruise that he has.
I am, yeah, I am. My boys. Okay. We're all fucking. We watch 2 or 3 games
for
a
banter.
week.
Oh, okay.
No, you watch college and shit. Like you know what you're talking.
Okay.
About. You talk to me about defense. It's like you're talking another language to me. As you were.
Yeah, that Hudson Young. I think the thing with him, we understand how good he is, but we didn't get to see that in Origin probably as much because he came off the bench, played a different role, played through the middle, like all that kind of stuff. He kind of reminds me of like Greg Bird, like that tough MF. Is just going to be in your face and competing for everything. Have I missed anyone there?
No.
I'm sure the comments will flourish.
No, I think once you just had that list of the other guys, I think that fills everything out. I think there will be Raiders fans who will get upset about Huddy Young, but I think the list you've named, I personally think Eli Katoa is a better back row right now.
Because
Hudson Young's won 10 of his last 11 games.
Because of the compete on the...
Yeah, I think he is... I think he's just more of a threat in more spots, personally. He's now a kick target. Like they've got Xavier Coates in their side, and he's not the biggest kick target right now.
He doesn't need the ball to be impactful.
Exactly right. Yes, another good one. Yeah. So, okay. What about top 5 forwards just in the game?
Injured or not. Yeah. Haas, Katoa, Tapane, Tino, I think are locks. A little bit divided on this one. Cam Murray, Isaiah Yeo. I think we underappreciate Yoey for the amount of work he gets through And Origin 1, which is why we're so angry about Origin 2 and 3, we changed our style so much, but he's so solid through the middle.
Yeah, I personally, I don't think you can leave Yo out of this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's won the last 4 comps in a row. He's been, I don't think there's any of the grand finals I thought he should win the Clive, but every year I think he's been in my top 2 or 3 for him. He's been fucking incredible across the whole thing. Origin's another conversation, I get that. But I think what he's done on the biggest stages over the last few years, Penrith have lost so many troops, whether it be hookers, 5'8", all these guys. He's been one of the constants, and Nath falls out of this team for 10 weeks. They're okay.
Yep.
They lose strike centres. They lose everyone. They lose hookers. They're okay. He's the one to dictate terms.
Cam Murray next year.
Well, Cam Murray has to be in there for me. I personally, I would have Cam Murray, out of the guys you mentioned there, I think Tino would probably be 6 for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think like just when you have a look at, like a little bit statsy, but like the amount of penalties he gives away and stuff like that. Like I think, obviously being the 6th best forward in rugby league, still a fantastic place to be. Like this is what happens when you put lists in. But I think those 5 are guys that I would have on top at the moment.
And when you talk about South, you forget how important Murray is. Like a back row.
South, New South Wales.
Yeah, but a back row that consists of next year Duncan, Jairo and Cam Murray, who just clean up everything.
It's been a nightmare this year for South Sydney, but mate, next year, like the level they've got Tallis Duncan to now. Who did you say then? Tallis, Cam, and who was the other one you said? Keon? Jairo. Well, like you've also got Ewan Aitken in there as well.
Yep. Jairo might play up front.
I think Jairo will play up front. I think that I hope it's already happened, but fuck, I would be saying to Keon, you're a middle now.
He has to be, doesn't he?
I mean, he had to be last year. It's ridiculous that he wasn't, in my opinion, but I think the conversation is over. He has to be there. Chuck Cheese in there. Crack a forward pack.
Cheese. Humphreys off the bench.
Yeah, and like just some of the young guys they've got there, like LeBlanc scored his first try on the week, and I really like him. Hubner's solid.
Totola, Mawali off the bench.
Mawali's starting to come of age.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a good little spot. Top 5 forwards. Leave yours in the comments, guys. Let us know. And obviously, once again, leave some questions down below for us to get stuck into next week. Most of them been coming from the Roo Crew or the nerds in there. I'd love to see YouTube stand up and fucking salute. Show us something. If you're listening on the podcast, go to the YouTube. Chuck them in there. Welcoming in her for her first hit up of this afternoon. Kathmandu.
Hello.
How be they?
Very well. Guys, I love listening to you both talk about footy. Like I fall into a bit of a trance, to be honest. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does.
We've got those voices on today where we're focused, aren't we? We're locked in for the back end.
Look at Guru's hands. That means business.
Not here to fuck spiders.
What would Seraldo say? We're into the final third where the season starts again. We know that the nuffies out there want to hear some deep dive.
And Sowie, you've been breaking the fourth wall a lot of down the barrel kind of action, which I think is it's exactly where the show's at. Do you know what I mean?
When you tip Aaron Clark, what was he at the time? 60 grand or something like that. Like, what's he worth now? 1.5?
He's worth a good wicket now, but I can't afford him, put it that way.
Timmy
you know
Williams.
that I bought him, Sowie. I have him on my side.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
When did you buy him?
Oh, weeks ago. I've had him a long time.
Oh, not 3.5 months ago when it was tipped. I remember going.
She's ranked 40,000. Let's not get ahead.
Oh, you just added about 10K to my rank. Wow.
I actually said it to you. You remember when I said it? You were on a live stream, and I said, "Please say Aaron Clark," and you go,
yeah.
"Oh, fuck off, Sowie," like that, and now everyone's just like, "You should listen to Sowie." Anyway.
Oh, how good. Mandu, can you take us through the games this weekend?
Absolutely. So we start on Thursday, 7:50 p.m. We have the Roosters taking on the Storm at Allianz Stadium.
Cracker. The Roosters, 2.45 at home on Neds. The Melbourne Storm, $1.55. Obviously no Cam Munster featuring in this one, so wish he'll jump into the 6 role. Still no sign of Ryan Pappenhausen and Nass out. For the Roosters, Chad Townsend out of the side. Sandon Smith gets a recall, but Hugo is on the extended. The other big in for the Roosters is Siwa Wong also returns. I think the Roosters get them at home, mate. I think Munster, Nass, Pappy, I think the Roosters will be up for this one. I thought they were pretty poor last week. I'm expecting a bounce back from them. Season on the line for them, must-win game. I like the Roosters, 2.45 on Neds. What are you thinking?
They've scarred me so many times this year, the Roosters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the outs for the Storm sway it a lot closer than what Neds have probably got it.
Yep.
Can the Storm jump out of the top 4?
Yeah, fucking oath the Storm can jump out the top. If Brisbane are as good as you think they are and they can beat them twice, they're gone. That's how close it is. Like they're not that loss on the weekend for the Melbourne Storm makes it a lot closer for them. Like Craig Bellamy would be filthy about. That's the one thing that scares me about tipping the Roosters this week is that Bellamy would have absolutely given it to them this week. But yeah, mate, for sure they can miss the top 4.
Okay. I just was looking at that.
It sounds crazy, but
imagine if Broncos and Panthers are in the top 4 and week 1 is Raiders Panthers at GIO and it's Bulldogs Broncos at a core. Oh, I've got blood. I'm going to take the Storm, though.
After all that.
But I want to tip the Roosters. And people that have been following us, the 25 fans that we have, they know that we've tipped the Roosters exclusively a couple of times this year. Mm-hmm. Really unhappy with how they played last week. I was frustrated and I've got no skin in the game whatsoever with the Roosters.
Did you watch that whole game?
Yes.
What do you take from that of Sam Walker's game? Like I personally think, with all due respect to Chad, I think it was a poor decision to go with him over Sandon Smith in that game. I couldn't really make sense of that, but I thought that Sam Walker overplayed his hand quite a bit in that game. What did you take away from it?
Well, he probably felt like he had to a little bit. Chad's style's a little bit different to Sam.
Yes.
I think that when you watch Chad play, you know what you're going to get. Kick to a corner, manage the game. That's what he's made a career out of doing, and he's done it very well.
Yep.
Hard to pull that back. Remember I said a couple of weeks ago, the Roosters changed their style, and it took them so long to jump over to Sam Walker's style of footy. Hugo sort of leant into that a bit and went, I'm just going to kick to a corner, but we're also going to chance our arm and shift and stuff like that. You have to pull it back in such a big game, Friday night, and you still got a kid that's, hey, this is my team sort of thing. So he sort of probably had to step up too much. I'll take the Storm.
Trooks for me. Friday night, Kat.
All right, Friday night starts with the Cowboys taking on the Dragons. This one starts 6 p.m. at Queensland Country Bank Stadium.
I have no idea Cup on 6 p.m. Friday. Dragons at $2.40. Cowboys up there. I'm going to take the Cows just because it's up there, but I have no idea whatsoever. Actually, you know what? I kind of know what I'm going to get out of the Dragons. It's the Cowboys. I have no idea what I'm going to get from them. They're playing for Todd Payton's career, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, I think it's done.
Red Rover?
Oh, yeah.
I think if
They've
Josh
won one
Hannay
game
wasn't floating around, like he's the perfect guy to bring into that system.
Yeah.
That just I think the shoe fits too well there.
I actually tipped the Dragons in this one. I thought last weekend very unlucky at the end.
Yes,
some
very
game
unlucky.
management decisions I still think have cost them in certain situations this year, and that's not necessarily just on the spine. I think that's as a whole game management. But I guess the case for the Cowboys is when you look at these games, you've got no idea. You look who the best player in the field is, and it's Tom Dearden, and you kind of can't sit there at the start of the year and go, the Cowboys are going to win 2 games at home with Tom Dearden, Drinkwater.
Yep.
Drinkwater will get 84 points.
That's not enough for a skipper.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so we're complete opposites so far this round. I think we might square up here. Late game Friday night.
All right, late game, we have Broncos taking on the Eels. Kickoff 8 p.m, Suncorp Stadium.
Bronx $1.24, Eels $4.10. Now, big news in this game, Mitch Moses returns at halfback, enormous for the Eels. Iongi's also out for a couple of weeks. I believe it's going to be a 4-week injury, could be more. So they've decided to move Joe Ash back to fullback, his preferred position. Haven't gone with Dill Brown, they've gone with Dean Hawkins. So as we said last week, shout out to Rolsey, really leaning into the future there, which is really good to see. I think this game will look very similar to last week, to be honest with you. I think the Eels will be spirited early, but I think Brisbane, they're just going to have too much strike towards the back.
Yeah, really want to see a mature performance from the Broncos. This is a game they should win and will win, but it's got Moses kick to a corner, strangle you, come up with a big play. It's 6-0. Does Walsh chance his arm too much? Can they try and chase it instead of just going, hold on a second, we don't need to kick on play 2. Let's play out the set and then get them at the back end. So Broncos for me, but huge watch early.
Yeah, Brisbane for me as well. Super
right.
Saturday, Mando.
Super Saturday starts at 3 p.m. We have the Warriors taking on the Titans. This one is at Go Media Stadium.
Desi Hasler's 500th game as an NRL coach. Does he get to 501? My question to you. No, it's a genuine question.
No. unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
Yeah. There's this the drums are beating, aren't they? That this is his last game out of respect, and I think that's a admirable thing to do for the Titans. It's funny because we've been talking, and there's a lot of other podcasts that I listen to, we're talking about, like, what's the right way to react after a loss? And I've been in the situation where I've actually been joking around and probably not realised the seriousness of it. Not because I don't care, but because I was actually embarrassed that I was the reason that we lost.
Yeah, okay.
And that was against Manly 2014. I was on the bus joking around, and it was a pretty somber mood, but I'd actually fucked up in that last play. I think maybe Jamie Lyon or someone scored in the corner, but you get nervous. You try and protect yourself a little bit. So I can understand that from the players' point of view, from the Titans. What didn't precede that in that game for me was some of the errors that the Titans made. Like Des, like giving away a penalty in front of the sticks, 14-12 for late to the scrum.
Yep.
That kind of stuff wears on you. And the lifestyle of the jokes when you're making errors and you're coming last, like, it's life or death as a coach. This is it. Like, you come in big baggy eyes because you've watched so much tape trying to get them up for a game against the Tigers at Leichhardt, hostile environment, chance to avoid the wooden spoon, and you make an error and you see blokes joking around. That kills you inside. That burns you because you've grown up and played with some of the best players ever. I'm talking from Des Hasler's point of view. You've coached some of the best players ever. How do you go home to your family who you've avoided all week because you're trying to get out of this dungeon and say to them, I'm going to just push it back a little bit? So that's a little insight as to what you're feeling as a coach. Do they get up for him? They bloody well should. But Warriors at home.
Yeah, I think Warriors at home will be too good, and I reckon in the most typical Titans fashion of all time, I think Tanner Boyd has a blinder just to make it works. Middle game Saturday, Cut.
Game 2 Saturday, 5:30 p.m. kickoff at CommBank Stadium. We have the Battle of the West, Panthers taking on the Tigers.
Panthers $1.26, West Tigers $3.90, the Jerome Luai Cup over here. I think Penrith will be too good. Nath and Yo back in. I just think they're going to have too much. Tigers, a good win last week, but they weren't incredible. Like, you talk about errors that the Titans made too. I think the Tigers turned the ball over at dummy half twice in that game. It was, far from polished still. I think Penrith win, and I think they win well on this one.
Agree. I think that the Tigers last week, they were trying to avoid the wooden spoon. And it's one of those games where I say neither team wants to lose, and everyone will say, well, that's the goal, but they play very conservatively. They don't really go after it and that kind of thing. So I've got the Panthers winning.
Yep. Late game Saturday night, Amanda.
Late game, Rabbitohs taking on the Sharks. Kickoff 7:35, and this one is at the Palm Tree Galore Stadium, Industry Group Stadium, one of Guru's personal favourites.
Love palm trees at a footy ground.
Do you?
Yeah. You a fan?
Not really.
Why not?
It's a shame.
You have some fun, for fuck's sake. What's wrong with you?
It just throws the kickers off. The wind comes in at different angles through the breeze.
Yeah, okay.
You've got up one end, you've got palm trees. Up the other end, you've got an open end. Then you've got a stand either side. It's just a nightmare to kick at.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
Do you play there much?
Played my first Premier League game there, or reserve grade game there.
Your very first one?
Yep.
That's
against
cool.
the Dragons.
Yep.
Sorry, against... I can't remember who against, but just a nightmare. It always just throws me off looking at kickers and stuff like that there.
I used to really like on the old Rugby League 1 game. Used to be able to play up there, and the palm trees looked fucking dreadful, but it was just something special about it.
It looked like Minecraft, doesn't it?
Yes, it looked like
Rugby
Minecraft.
League 1 looked like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Rugby League 6, is it? What is it up to now?
Rugby League 26?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bit of...
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag. The bag's mixed, know that. I think Cronulla put the cleaners through South Sydney. I think that Cronulla are going to flex some muscles this weekend. I think South Sydney, just with so many players missing, dot in at halfback. I don't know how I feel about it. Taylor's still out in the centres. I think Cronulla go through them. What are your thoughts?
Unfortunately, agree. Interesting watch. Ash Ward came from the Steelers system. Another Dragons junior that snuck through the netting. Russell Aiken, big raps on this kid. I've worked with him a little bit in terms of his kicking game, and he's got a touch background. So are we sure that Dodd's going to be the starting 7 and that Ash doesn't get a crack straight away?
Yeah, look, I I think with all due respect to Dodd, I think they've made their decision on him. I think they've seen enough to know why not give Ward a crack. He played in a trial at the start of the year. He did really well.
Yeah.
Actually reminds me a little bit of a young Luke Keary when he first came into the game, the way he moves and stuff. So
He plays above his weight.
yes, well and truly above his weight. So but give me the Sharkies in that one. I think they'll be too good. Sunday, Cat.
Sunday, we have the Raiders taking on the Knights, 2 p.m, GIO Stadium, nice and cold Canberra weather.
Raiders at $1.20 short price favourites. The Knights $4.60. I think it's like a 14.5 start for Newcastle. I kind of think that might be a little bit too much for Newcastle, but I'm confident the Raiders win. My little watch over the next few weeks with the Newcastle Knights, with Dill Lucas ruled out for the rest of the season, you get a look at the guy that I believe will replace Kai Pearce-Paul next year, Jermaine McEwen. You see much of him?
Goes his sister in the Fettu
Of course you
Samoa
did.
side.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I think he's got a big future.
Huge fan. And he's learning really tough lessons at the moment in terms of a side that's struggling, but he's standing up. Probably should have scored a try on the weekend as well.
775 this weekend, he will, trust me.
Teams have certain times they like playing. Raiders Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, home recovering by 6. Chalky milk, lime green milk. Raiders by plenty.
Do the Raiders need to lose a game before finals or not? Or are you not buying to that?
No. They've got to buy. No. They're too young to overthink that stuff.
Okay, fair shout.
Oh.
Raiders for me as well. Last game, Mando.
Last game, we have a grand final rematch between the Bulldogs and the Manly Seagulls. This one is at Allianz Stadium for a little difference for those two teams. Kickoff 4:05, and the Bulldogs will be wearing a very nice jersey, I do have to say.
Hold me back from talking about Jim Dimmick again. I fucking dare you.
Hold me back from talking about Jimmy Sidara's short side.
Manly, 225 outsiders, Doggies, $1.65 favourites, 30-year anniversary of the Jim Dimmick Cup at the I love they've moved this to the SFS. I love that shit.
Can Manly put the Pepsi on the front?
Ooh. I wouldn't mind that.
I'll tell you what, about 3 o'clock, I'm going to be getting the deep heat out at the Soward household and just saying, Mrs. Soward, let me start rubbing the calves because 4 o'clock we've got a big one. Dogs Manly 95 reunion.
Shocking day to be deep heat. I'm going to take the Doggies to win this one. What are you doing?
Well, I've just said Manly can make
I know
the
you
8.
have. I'm very interested to see what you say here.
Well,
One of your 19 contenders this year.
I mean, Dogs fans, we've repaired whatever scars.
You reckon? You reckon you're sweet with Canterbury fans now?
Are
you going to this game?
No. To be fair, I don't really care if I'm sweet with Canterbury fans, but what I will say is I have been into the area. I've got a haircut. Bossman Sydney, shout out. Did a little promo there. Caught up with the Foot General. I've done feet stuff there with Dogs fans. I'm actually okay with Dogs fans. I think that they hang on to things, which is fine.
Yeah, so they should. Fan
But-
is short for fanatics. Al.
That's right. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that they're great for the game. But
Were you going to a Dogs game or am I imagining?
I went last week.
Last
Dragons,
week, did you?
Dogs. Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh, so you're in the Bulldogs section for the Dragons game.
Sat with
Jesus.
friend of mine, shout out Ant, put me in right next to the Serraldo box.
Nice.
Great seats.
Have you had much to do with him ever?
Cam,
Serraldo, yeah.
he was out at Penrith, yeah. He used to remind me all the time that we cheated in the 2004 grand final. He reckons that Travis Burns scored.
What, in your Newtown?
In the Roosters. He said Travis Burns scored that try, and I'd say Cam. I'd say the same thing to Bronx, mate. Some can kick field goals, some can't, okay? I can.
Travis Burns is a good player.
Good player.
Underappreciated.
Underappreciated. He used to always just give me the shits, Burnsy. He'd be at you, just trying to pick a fight with you, something. And I just hated playing against him. Competitor. But I've got Manly.
Speaking of random players, and this could be the hallmark of this thing. You know, I saw a thing that I picked up an old big league the other day over there, and a player popped their name up who I always thought was really underappreciated. Grant Ravelli.
Ravs, the great man. Saw him at the 20-year reunion of our Jersey Flegg / grand final weekend where we had all 3 grades in.
Yeah, right.
Doing big things up north.
What's he up to? So what's he doing?
Can't remember, but he's doing big things.
Big reunion. He might not have even been there.
No, Ravs, he was there. when he went to North Queensland, I think there was a clip of him the other day. He played in some big games, maybe in the one where Anthony Watts and Robbie Farah got stuck into it. That was up on Yeah. But Ravs was the halfback, I think.
Yeah, right.
So he partnered with JT a fair bit.
Yeah, he would have.
Potentially.
Yeah, he would have been there. I've got him at the Cowboys like 06, 7, 8. In that sort of ballpark area.
Yeah.
I think. Good player. I don't know how we got there.
Right foot step,
Yeah.
short ball player.
Did you go over to the Super League after the Cowboys?
Yeah. Played with his brother Josh, actually, who played in the...
I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah, Grant and Josh, yep. Manly for me.
Canterbury for me. Is that all, Kat?
That's it.
How good. Now, I have got my multi of the week on the Neds app. Jeez, I'm excited to see the sleeper notification pop up, Sowie.
I don't have that yet because you won't invite me.
That gets the kid very excited. I am so confident you're in about 6 leagues.
I am.
Yeah, fucking no shock. As if you need a 7th. How many are you in?
Legit 5.
Okay.
Good ones.
5. What does that mean? How many are you in?
Like 5, like deep thought, not just willy-nilly pick any. Yeah.
How many willy-nillys are you in?
Don't do willy-nillys. Which is
only
why
do
I'm
the
not doing yours, yeah.
Okay, right.
But I will say this. Chad Townsend, Trent Copeland, Nick Davis, and myself, Tristan Merlin, shout out to Tristan. Us 5 have been playing in the sort of same one for a couple of years now.
Is it like a dynasty or?
No, it's not a dynasty. We redraft every year.
Yeah.
But there's only been 2 winners out of those 5.
Yeah.
Have a guess who?
I'm going to say Copeland.
No.
No? I like him. He's a good fella.
Good guy.
Have you got one?
Yes.
How many you
I
got?
got the first one.
Okay.
So I had no idea about fantasy whatsoever. But Copes, we used to do a show, an NFL podcast.
Yeah, I
and he'd
remember,
give
yeah,
away
yeah.
tips. And I'd just jot them down and sort of just see trends and stuff like that. Then I started getting into the podcasts and studying away from studying. And I won the very first
Have you won one since?
Moving the Chains podcast. Sweet. No. There's only one other person that's won.
What, and they've
out
won
of our
3 in a
group.
row or whatever?
No. Like we've had randoms come in and win.
Gotcha. Okay, right.
But
right.
out of our 5.
Well, I heard Chad having a crack at who's he having a crack at this week? That's someone that's a journo that's a commissioner of another.
Brett Reed?
He was having to go at Reed.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is it Chad?
No. Interesting. Dog Pound has little barks. For a guy that love Chad.
Can we get
absolutely
Chad in
love
here one
Chad. Yeah, he'd love to. Me and Chad, yeah. I respect his game in terms of what he does media-wise, but footy, everything he's achieved. But for someone that's so big on the dog pound, aka Cleveland Browns, little bark in fantasy. Nick Davis is the other one.
Nick Davis?
Me and Nick Davis are the only ones that have won out of our core crew. Which, unlucky, Copes.
Who's your top 5 picks going into this year?
Oh, I haven't studied it yet. I get the notifications. I'm actually in one with Justin Pascoe, to be honest. The deep one.
Are you?
Yeah, there's a couple in America and a couple over here in Australia. So we draft at like a weird time. Yeah, it's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, unreal stuff. My Neds multi of the week, guys. You can find it on the Neds app under the Guru profile. You got Daniel Tupu against that Melbourne Storm right edge. You got Reece Walsh against the Eels. Casey McLean against the West Tigers. And then my value play, I like Teague Wilton across. He's at $4.20, $4.20 Blaze to Lungy sort of stuff. Good value there, $32.93 on the Neds app. Jump on there and follow along with all the About Even bets as well. What's on for you this weekend, mate?
Moving house. Oh, yeah. The deep heat will be flying all weekend.
Do you have to paint or anything up there? Or
No, we're moving into the in-laws, which is good.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep,
Okay.
for a little bit. But yeah, we'll be just loading the truck. Lots of driving. I've got a bit of catching up to do on the Guru podcast on the way back.
Ooh,
just
there'll be
back
plenty
to
there
back.
for you, don't worry.
I can't wait till we get into Ashes talk.
Yeah, well, we're getting there, but it's still a little bit away, unfortunately. But when we do,
I think there's going to be a lot of surprise in their squad.
I think there will be too. I think there'll be a lot of pullouts. I think there'll be a lot going on. Touch final tonight.
Girls touch final, yeah, racing there now. They're in under 12s, the poor buggers. They're trying their hardest. There's 3.
For those playing at home, they're like 4 years old too.
Ivy's 4, Indiana's 6,
It's insane.
Tilly Brown's 6. That's insane. There's a couple of other young ones in the thing, but
Oztag or touch?
Touch. Semi-final into a final, so pressure's on.
Oh, the Dribbly.
Yeah.
Any chance of a Clive?
Look, no.
Just 1 week at a time kind of stuff.
Well, just Have fun, girls. Yeah, when you're a parent, you try and take the competitive side out of it, which I know that's hard to hear from me.
I'm sure you'd have fun with that.
But we've tried to make it as fun as possible.
Yeah, I back that. Very good. All right, that'll do us for this week. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next week. We've got a NRLW Magic Round special coming your way next week, and then the normal episode that we do each week, so a double up next week. We'll see you there for that.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website